You ever been the guy who gives everything? Time, loyalty, your heart, only to hear 5 words that shatter you. I just see you as a friend. You sit there, pretending to be okay, but inside, you're screaming. You remember the times you stayed up just to listen, the times you gave without asking for anything back, the nights she cried over men who wouldn't lift a finger for her, men you'd never treat her like, but she wanted them, not you. It feels like betrayal, dressed up as friendship, like you're the emotional crutch she leans on, until she's strong enough to walk into another man's arms. Most guys make one of 2 moves: stay or disappear. They wait for her to see the light, or walk away feeling like a ghost. But what if I told you there's a third path, one that flips the dynamic, that turns the pain into power? Because Friendzone, it isn't a dead end, it's a door. And if you know how to turn the handle, she won't just see you differently. She'll crave you in ways she never dared before. Let me show you how. 1. Stop being her emotional support system. Ever felt like you're her emotional safety net? Not her lover, not her man. Just the guy who picks up the pieces every time she falls apart. She gets heartbroken by another guy. And somehow, you're the one staying up late, texting back, comforting her through another 2 a.m. meltdown. You think this makes you closer to her. You think, if I keep showing her I care, she'll eventually want me. But here's the cold truth. You're not becoming more attractive in her eyes. You're becoming predictable. You're the shelter in her storm. And while that sounds noble, it kills desire. Because attraction isn't born from comfort. It's born from tension, contrast, and uncertainty. When a woman knows exactly how you'll respond, when she can count on you to always be there, she stops seeing you as a man worth chasing. She starts seeing you as safe. And safety, without mystery, is the death of seduction. Let that sink in. She's not calling you because she wants you. She's calling you because it's easy. You're her emotional sponge, absorbing every drop of pain she doesn't want to carry. And the more you take on her emotional weight, the less respect she has for your boundaries. So what do? You pull back, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. When she starts ranting about some guy again, you don't drop what you're doing. You hold your frame. You respond like a man who has a life. That sucks. Hope it works out. I've got to run, catching up with someone. Keep it light. Keep it brief. No more being her therapist. No more fixing her mess. Because here's what happens when you stop being her emotional dumping ground. She feels the shift. At first, it's subtle. She might not notice, but over time, it eats at her. She starts wondering, why isn't he asking me how I feel today? Why does it feel like he's slipping away? And that, right there, is when attraction begins. Not when you're always present, but when your absence has weight. Scarcity breeds value. When your emotional energy becomes rare, it becomes desirable. She now has to reach out, initiate, wonder. And that's when the dynamic flips. You're no longer her safe space. You're the man who respects his own peace. And ironically, that's the man she starts to crave. 2. Create emotional distance and trigger jealousy. There's something powerful about silence, not the kind that comes from awkwardness, but the kind that makes her wonder, why hasn't he texted me back? Where is he tonight? Is he with someone else? That's the moment the tables begin to turn. See, most men in the friend zone make the same mistake. They're too available, always texting back, always saying yes, always giving their energy to one woman who hasn't earned it. And when a woman never has to wonder, she never has to chase. When she knows you'll always be there, there's no tension, no uncertainty, no mystery, and without those things, there's no desire. But the moment she starts to feel your absence, everything shifts. So how do you do it? Start small. Next time she texts you, don't rush to respond. Let her wait. Let her feel the gap. If she asks to hang out, be busy. Have plans, even if it's just you hitting the gym or working on yourself. Because here's the truth. Your time is valuable. And when she senses that your world doesn't revolve around her, she begins to see you differently. But here's where it gets interesting. Don't just pull back, redirect. Start giving your attention to other women, not in a petty high school jealousy way, but in a grounded, natural, masculine way. Talk to women. Expand your social circle. Make new connections. Let her see it. Maybe it's a casual photo on social media. You out with friends. Maybe there's a beautiful woman in the background, or maybe you mention, in passing, that you had a great conversation with someone interesting. You don't have to brag. You don't have to exaggerate. Just let the shift happen. Because here's what happens inside her mind. Wait, who is she? Why didn't he tell me about this? Wasn't he always just there for me? Now she's thinking about you. Not because you chased her, but because you stopped. She might act indifferent. She might pretend not to care. But beneath that calm is a storm. And that storm, it's called jealousy. Not the toxic kind, but the kind that makes her reevaluate her place in your life. Because when a woman realizes she's not the only one catching your eye, she suddenly wants to be the only one you see. That's when the dynamic flips. You're no longer the man waiting in the shadows. You're the man she's trying to reach again. And the only reason she starts chasing is because you finally stopped. Third shift, the power dynamic. Stop seeking her validation. You can spot it from a mile away. The guy who's trying too hard, always nodding, always agreeing, always laughing at things that aren't even funny. He's not doing it to be polite. He's doing it because deep down, he hopes it'll make her like him. It won't. That's the trap. Most men stuck in the friend zone don't even realize they're there because they're so busy performing, smiling a little too wide, complimenting a little too often, agreeing a little too easily. It's not authentic. It's not masculine. It's approval seeking. And women don't chase approval seekers. They chase men who know their value. Men who don't need to be chosen to feel worthy. Think about it. The guys women truly chase Do they wait for her to say it's okay to speak their mind? Do they edit themselves just to be liked? Do they act like they're walking on glass? No way. They walk into a room and own it. They don't chase women. They make women step up to meet them. So here's the shift. Stop trying to earn her. Make her earn you. That begins with your energy. Don't pour compliments into a woman like you're trying to buy affection, especially when she hasn't earned that praise. Saying things like, "You're so amazing. I can't believe no guy has taken you. You're perfect. Any man would be lucky to have you." It sounds sweet, but it's the same thing a dozen other guys have already told her. And guess where those guys are now? Right beside you, in the friend zone. Here's what real value sounds like. Nothing. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not say anything at all. Let her earn your praise. Let her wonder what you think. Let her chase the compliment. Because when she doesn't know where she stands, that's when attraction builds. Now don't get me wrong, compliments aren't evil, but when they're constant, free, and predictable, they lose their meaning. So flip the script. Try this instead. That's an interesting outfit. Kind of reminds me of a painting from a dream I had. Abstract, unexpected. She won't know whether to be flattered or curious, and that's the point. You're no longer feeding her validation. You're feeding her mind. That's how you shift the dynamic. And here's the next part. Stop worshipping her. Stop acting like she's flawless. She's not. She's human, just like you. So treat her that way. Challenge her opinions, not to be rude, but to show you're not afraid to speak your truth. If she says, "I hate when guys wear leather jackets," don't respond with, "Yeah, same." Say, "That's funny. I wore mine this morning." Let her see that you're not a reflection of her beliefs. You're a man with a spine. Because guess what? She doesn't want a mirror. She wants mystery. A man who can make her laugh, think, and second-guess herself. Just enough to keep her intrigued. So, if you want to shift the power dynamic, stop trying to be liked. Start being remembered. 4. Master the art of indifference. Make her feel your absence. There's something unsettling about silence, especially when it comes from a man who used to care. When you stop texting, stop calling, stop showing up like clockwork, you don't just vanish. You create a void. And in that quiet space, she starts to wonder, why hasn't he reached out? Is he pulling away? Did I lose him? That's the shift. Because the moment she starts asking those questions, you've gone from predictable to powerful. See, most guys in the friend zone think showing up every time makes them dependable. They believe always being available proves loyalty. But in reality, it proves one thing. You have no boundaries, and anything without boundaries loses value fast. When you're always there, she never has to miss you, never has to think about you. You're like background music, nice but forgettable. But silence? Silence gets noticed. When you stop replying instantly, when you don't jump every time she calls, you send a silent message. My time is mine. And she feels that. Her brain starts to react. Is he mad at me? Has he found someone else? Did I mess up? That's the power of indifference, not coldness, but calm distance, detached confidence. The kind that says, I'm not punishing you, I'm just not chasing you. Scarcity creates desire. It's not about ignoring her forever. It's about letting her feel the absence of your presence. Think of it this way. A candle in a bright room is barely noticed, but light that disappears in darkness, suddenly it's everything. So step back. Don't explain. Don't announce your withdrawal. Just reclaim your energy. Because the moment you do, she won't just think about you. She'll start missing you, wanting you, craving you, and all because you chose to go quiet. 5. Get comfortable walking away. There comes a moment when you have to ask yourself, am I staying because she sees my worth, or because I'm too afraid she won't? Most men trapped in the friend zone don't stay out of strength. They stay out of fear. Fear that walking away means losing her forever. Fear that if they stop being available, she'll move on and forget they existed. But here's the truth no one likes to hear. Neediness doesn't inspire love. It repels it. If she knows you'll stick around no matter how she treats you, she won't respect you. And if there's no respect, there's no real attraction. So what's the answer? You walk away, not to play games, not to teach her a lesson, but because you finally respect yourself enough to not settle for scraps of attention. You say, I care about you, but I'm not okay pretending this is enough for me. Then you step back. You stop initiating. You stop being her emotional insurance policy. You focus on your life, your purpose, your peace. And if she values you, truly values you, she'll feel it when you're gone. She'll realize she lost something rare, and no woman wants to lose a man who had the strength to let her go. 6. Let her see you upgrade. Here's the truth most men don't want to hear. She didn't friendzone you because you're a bad guy. She did it because you didn't stand out. You were safe, predictable, ordinary, and while that hurts, it's also your greatest opportunity. Because now, you stop trying to win her over and start becoming the kind of man who doesn't have to. Hit the gym, change the way you dress, cut your distractions, surround yourself with people who elevate your mind. Find something you love so much that you forget she even exists. Not out of bitterness, but because your focus has shifted. And then you rise. She sees it in the way you move, in the light behind your eyes, in the fact that you're no longer orbiting her world. You're building your own. And one day, she'll look at you and think, did I misjudge him? That question, that regret, that's the beginning of her attraction, because now you're not the guy she kept on standby. You're the man she might have lost. The friend zone was never about luck. It's always been about how she sees you, not as a bad man, just as one she could predict. But attraction doesn't live in predictability. It lives in tension, in mystery, in earned presence. And the moment you pull your energy back, When you stop being her emotional crutch, everything shifts. Now, she's the one wondering, why do I feel his absence? Did I underestimate him? That shift, that quiet reversal, is when desire begins, because now she's not choosing from comfort. She's chasing from curiosity. You've become the man she has to work for, and that changes everything. So, what about you? Have you ever stopped showing up long enough to let her miss you? Tap like if this made you rethink your role. Drop a comment. Have you ever leveled up and made her regret it? And don't forget, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to help you master your mind, your mission, and your worth.